Kia ora Giants fans, and welcome into G.I.Antics. Hugh Beynon here alongside Phill Jones. G'day, Phill.
G'day, Hugh. How
are you, mate?
I'm good. You?
I'm excited. I'm excited for one of the great weekends coming up, which we'll talk about a little bit later on, once we get to the club ball section. And welcome in Theo Akwuba. How are you, Theo?
I'm good. How about you?
Right, good. Happy to have you here. Good to have you here. Not cooking for you today, but good to have you here.
Thankfully, you're saying.
Yep. Okay. We're going to rip straight into it and name that giant.
Oh, wow.
Straight into it.
Okay.
Name that giant.
Brutal.
I'm going to go through the career of a former or current Nelson Giant. And Phill and Theo, got to see if they can work out who it is.
If Theo gets this before me, I'm fired.
Are we ready? Research. Nelson Giants, Fujian Chongqing Sturgeons, BBC Bayreuth, AS Cardissas, Borac Nectar.
My gosh. Import?
Import, who began his career at the Nelson Giants and then went to Fujian SBS Chongqing Sturgeons. All the apologies for pronunciation there. BBC Bayreuth, AS Cardissas, Borac Nectar. John, his collegiate career might help Theo out.
Is it recent?
Marshall
import?
Thundering Herd for 4 years, followed by Louisville Cardinals.
Jared West?
Jared West.
Boom.
Nice, Phill.
Yeah, I wasn't going to get that.
Kobe would have got that A.
Yeah.
Kobe and him are tight, I think. But yeah, Jared West. Well, you're up to date. You're a college basketball buff. You know your stuff, so I thought thought that might help. Anyway, great to have you here, Theo. Hey, last week could not have gone better for the NBS Nelson Giants. Could it?
No, I think every result went the Giants' way.
We left this podcast studio last week saying, obviously we need to beat the Jets, which you guys did, and we'll talk about that. But we need a few results to go our way as well to help us on the way. And all those results went our way. Wednesday night, Otago Nuggets lose to Auckland Tuatara's skeleton crew, missing 4 starters, were they? 3 starters.
Yeah, the young fellas
Glidden and Lowe missing 3
stepped
starters.
up big time for them.
Yeah. Braden Yulee in particular, mixing up my sports there. Tuatara, big win over the Nuggets. And 32-point win. Thank you, Otago. And then the Hawks lost to the Saints at home, which we kind of expected, but still, helpful result for us. And the Phi, who are the least likely to get to that 6th spot, but still have a chance, get tipped up by the Sharks down in Invercargill. And then the Giants get the job done in Palmy Dice against Manawatu. It could not have gone better for the Giants, for the good guys.
Yeah, I think if Mike Fitchett was sitting down before the weekend, he would have planned that out exactly the way it played out.
Yeah.
Pretty good results for the Giants. Now, Giants need to back it up with a win this weekend.
I think the only thing that didn't go our way, and it's a minor thing in the scheme of things, was the Airs Rapid League team won on the Sunday against the Bulls. Ideally, they would have lost. I think that might have even clinched the Rapid League title for us, but was still well in the box seat for the first Rapid League title. And $10,000, that's what you get if you win Rapid League.
Wow.
To be shared among what I believe it says in this fine print is the team's official podcast crew.
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Everything went our way. Do you, Theo, and the team keep an eye on all those other results as well, or are you just worried about the game you're playing?
I mean, we might peek our head every now and then, but I think the most important thing is taking care of our business. Because sometimes, if you rely too much on other teams, you can get sidetracked, and then you don't take care of business. And if you don't take care of business, then it doesn't really matter, right? And so,
you guys could have walked into Manawatu going, "Wow, the other 3 teams have lost for us, so this is great. All we got to do is beat these guys."
Exactly. Yeah, we could have came out flat, lackadaisical, but thankfully we kept our heads on straight. We kept first things first, and then we took care of business.
Didn't really, and we took, me in particular last week, Phill, I took the bullish, brash, not going to let any nerves get to me approach. I was like, we'll beat the Jets, we'll beat the Sharks. Bang on, the first one. It wasn't really close, was it?
No.
Giants looked in control, barring a fast start. I think Campbell Scott hit a 3 or something to start the game. Giants looked in control the whole time.
Yeah, the only time it didn't look in control was with about a minute to go.
Oh,
in the Rapid
let's talk Rapid League
League
first. 100%. Let's talk Rapids first, because that was one of the best moments of the season. The Glacier, Ernie Kerr, icing the game, but Tom Ingham. What, 10 points in the last 20 seconds?
Yeah, he hit three threes, I think, and one was a 4-point play. Yeah, Tom stepping up big time there. What looked like the Giants were out of it with about 30-odd seconds to go. Pretty big deficit. Yeah. And he come down and goes bang, bang. One from deep, too. One from the car park. And just you can see that Tom Ingham celebration as he's striding back on his toes, looking over at the bench, shaking his head. That was a pretty cool finish.
Yeah, were you guys in the gym for the end? Because you're normally there for a bit and then you go into the sheds, Or
yeah. Like I normally leave like right after halftime. So, but like they always update us. Like Naughty or something like will update us like every 5 minutes. So like I heard they were like down like 5 to 7 with like 30 seconds, and I was like, crap. And then all of a sudden they're like, no, we won. I was like, what? So like I didn't really see how it went down, and then I went back and watched the film. Yeah, I was like, Ingy's crazy for that.
Ingy's crazy for that.
Yeah, Ingy's crazy for that.
And then Ernie the Glacier Kerr, because second time at the line, first time he missed his first and made his second, and then I knew it was going in.
Well, he's been really good from the free throw line all season for the Rapid League, and just the biggest smile after he made that second one, a little fist pump, and very cool. Great finish to the game. Manawatu would be gutted. Let that one slip.
Tony Kerr, father of Ernie, over in Australia, was just, his Instagram's good fun. He was just absolutely vibing on young Ernest getting the win. It was good. It was good to see. He's a real character. So then, that was a bit of a hammer blow for Manawatu, wasn't it? And then into the main game we went. Theo, you've been showing out the last few weeks. I imagine the words foul and trouble will come up a fair bit in this podcast. I think, as we said right at the start of the season on commentary, right, every single big American import has foul trouble in this league. Phill?
Yeah.
Can you ever remember one that doesn't?
A given. No,
Sometimes the Aussies come in and have less because they're used to the physicality and whatever, but every American does. And you're no different. Welcome to the club. Welcome to the club of being an import who gets in foul trouble a lot. But you seem to be overcoming that in recent weeks.
Yeah, that's like the biggest thing for me. Like me and Coach, me and Fitch have been working on, because in Finland it's like it's pretty much like no holds barred in the paint. Like they let the bigs really go at it. So I just had to like calm it down, like take it down like a few notches, because some things that I would do would be second nature just because I was so used to doing it in Finland. So then like I just started to tone it down, just jumping straight up, without going for the block or whatever, because I think the more I'm on the court, the more I can make an impact, be a presence on both sides of the floor. And I think with us having that, along with, Kobe playing well, Greta, playing well all season, Fotu was playing well before he left. Hopefully we get him back pretty soon. But yeah, Nadi's starting to be more aggressive. So I think the more weapons we have offensively on the team, the harder like we will be to stop, while keeping defense the main priority, I think.
Well, it's almost more important now. Well, it is more important now for the way Theo stays on the court while Dan's away in Finland, actually. Funny you mentioned Finland,
big time.
Where Dan is right now.
Yeah, because I guess with Theo, if you're getting into foul trouble, the team's a lot smaller, particularly without Dan Fotu. So, really important you stay out there. I think you've done a really good job in the last few games. I just don't know what it is, but it seems to happen all the time with the bigs that come into the New Zealand League. Doesn't matter where they're from, imports. They just seem to get into foul trouble. I don't know what it is, whether the referees just look at them and go, well, that guy's too big. Can't be on the court. You can't touch anyone because you might hurt somebody.
The worst ones when it's big guy against little guy. And obviously, and there's a bit of contact, like not illegal contact. Obviously, the little guy's going to come off second best in that contact. and the big guy gets called for a foul. Happened with last year a few times with Callum McRae, right? Who was a big boy. And he was like, I didn't do anything. He's just smaller than me. So you don't give a foul when he runs past me because he's too fast. You know, like it just seems like an unfair disadvantage sometimes.
And these little guards now are getting good at the old throw the head back, flopping, exaggerating the contact. Yeah, I don't know. It's a tricky spot to be in when you're a big guy out on the floor. Not that I know that, but it just looks like it is. And it's good. You've had a real big impact in the last few games, which is good. Nice to see. Particularly on the offensive end, I think you're starting. It looks like the Giants are looking at you a little bit more, throwing the ball into the post, and you love a little left-hand hook shot, which it's not your dominant hand, right?
No, I'm right-handed, but for some reason, like I've always tend to use my left hand, sometimes more than my right in the post. For some reason, I have no clue why, but yeah, like I think that's been a pretty big help for me, being able to go both ways.
Big
so
time.
like it doesn't like limit spacing or like, you know, where I catch it or how I catch it. You know, just get it with 2 feet in the paint and just go up and hook it.
You mentioned Finland. That was your first professional gig contract with Cobrat.
Yep.
The Cobras, as we'd say.
Yeah,
in
the
English.
Cobras.
And before that, you bounced around a few colleges. Talk us through your collegiate career.
Yeah, so coming out of high school, like I had 0 stars. Like I wasn't ranked at all.
High school in Alabama?
Yes, I went to high school in Alabama. I barely played any travel ball. I was a late bloomer, really. Didn't play any travel ball. I actually got recruited off of high school, my high school ball. So this coach saw my stats because I averaged a triple-double in high school with blocks. So he saw my stats, and then he booked the red eye to see me play from Portland. So
Portland, Oregon, or Portland, Maine?
Portland, Oregon. So that's like all the way
the West
across.
Coast one.
Yep. So he booked the red eye to see me play, train in high school. He offered me, and at that point it was May, and around that time I think that it was like the day before the signing deadline for high schoolers. So I pretty much signed on the visit because that was my only offer, really. So I signed on the visit, and I was at Portland for 2 years. Then COVID hit. So then I transferred back to the South, to Louisiana, which is only like a few-hour drive from where I stayed in Montgomery. So,
and one of the best names in college basketball, the Ragin' Cajuns.
Yes, Ragin' Cajuns. Very catchy.
How good's that, eh?
Yeah, shout out to the Cajuns. So, I was there for 2 more years. That's where I got my bachelor's, my undergrad, in business administration. And then I transferred from there because I had 1 more year because of COVID.
That's right.
I went from there to Ole Miss. And then I was at Ole Miss for 1 year. And then I got
So Ole Miss is a real grand old university, right? Like big football program as well, baseball, all the sports, right? It's
yeah. They're in the SEC, so the SEC is pretty much like one of the best, if not the best, conference all around for sports in the country. So yeah, it was pretty. It was a blessing to be a part of that atmosphere. Was
it like big classic old Southern buildings and all that? I'm just trying to picture the campus.
Yeah. Ole Miss is definitely one of the better looking campuses in the country, I would say. It has a lot of history too, so they get a lot of alumni, a lot of love, especially during like football season. Like tailgates are crazy. It's
so much fun.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun.
And then off the back of that, Finland. So at what point did you go, okay, I'm chasing the basketball dream?
Honestly, I knew I wanted to play pro once I got my first Division I offer, because by then I was like 6'10", because I had a crazy growth spurt from 10th grade to 11th grade. I went from 6'4" to like 6'9".
How old is 10th grade?
10th grade, I was 15.
Damn. So you went away for the summer holidays.
Yeah.
When you were 15, came back as a 16-year-old.
Yeah, I grew like
5 inches taller.
Everybody was like, "Yo, what the?" You're like, so yeah.
Who is this?
I grew like 3 inches over the summer. So like when I signed, that's when I was like, okay. And it was funny. My parents aren't tall at all. Like my mom's like 5'8", my dad's 5'11". So like if you see them, like they just look like normal sized people. So
what about in the rest of the family? Uncles, siblings?
My tallest immediate family was like my uncle on my mom's side. He's like barely 6 foot.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, it's like if you see like a family portrait, I'm like towering over everybody. So you know, like God really blessed me with the height. So that's why I was like, all right, let me lock in. And
did you play other sports before you got super tall, or while you play football? Or
I played soccer.
Like soccer.
Yeah, I played soccer for a few years up until I got like crazy tall, and then I was like, nah, let me just.
Center of gravity's too high for soccer. Unless you go in goal, you'd be a great goalie. And then Finland came along and you just went.
Yeah, I think I signed.
Alabama to Finland. That's a cultural change.
Big change. I was pretty much used to the independent lifestyle. Because in college, I was in college for 5 years. So being at 3 different schools, 3 different environments, being away from the family, because you know in the States you only get like 2 to 3 weeks of break. It's because basketball is year round. Like you report in the summer in June, and you're there till August. You get like 2 weeks in August. You're there till December. You get like 2-3 days for Christmas, and then you're back up until April, March, April, I want to say. And then you have to report back for spring workouts. So it's like it's year round. So I was pretty much used to the independent lifestyle. So I wasn't as nervous. I was just more curious to like see different cultures and like lifestyles and stuff.
And
pretty
how
cool
was
place.
it? I mean, Phill played in Finland, right? Won a championship over there. And as we discussed before the podcast, before Theo was born. So the league's probably changed a little bit and the place has changed a little bit, but one thing that hasn't would be the temperature. Cold.
Very cold.
Very cold. And yeah, that was the biggest shock to me. Because being in Alabama is very hot. Most of the time.
Hey, we've all seen Forrest Gump, mate. We know. That's pretty much what I would suggest would be the biggest touch point for Alabama for the rest of the world. Is that fair?
Forrest Gump.
Forrest Gump?
That would make sense. Yeah,
probably. Anyway, sorry, continue.
No, you good. Barely ever snows in Alabama. Maybe like once every 15 years or something. And then you get to Finland, and then it snows like 4 months straight, I would say. When I first got there, it was kind of deceiving. Like the sun was out a little bit. I was like, nah, don't get used to it. And trust me. And so now I was like, all right, whatever. And then by the time November hit, boom, it was like crazy snow from like, and I think it reached like negative 30 degrees Celsius at one point. And just to put it in perspective, like I would go outside, and in 5 minutes, this whole beard would turn white. I actually have a video on my phone of my beard being completely white in like 5 minutes just from being outside. So it was awesome. It was crazy playing in cold gyms. So yeah, that took a little getting used to, but once I got the hang of it, it wasn't bad.
The nightclubs?
I've
heard some good things from you, Phil, I think, about how funny how everyone's queuing up.
Yeah. Well, my experience of it was, yes, very cold. The people there, actually not too dissimilar to Kiwi culture. They like a little bit of alcohol. They like to have a good time. They love this sport. We'd have games. We'd play, I think it was every Wednesday and Saturday we'd have games. We'd go out to the one nightclub that was in the town that I was playing in. And there'd be, 50 people lined up outside, minus 15, minus 20 outside. They get inside, they've got a massive coat room, hangers and everything, and they whip off their jackets and basically wearing not much.
What you'd wear
when you go out in a nightclub in a warm temperature place, So, it was a pretty cool place to play. And like I have a lot of friends over there still that when I first was the first place I went and played professionally. It was very cool.
So Theo, you finished there, and I know you finished there because I was obviously in the front office with the Giants. I'm on my phone at this must have been one of the shoot-arounds for one of our first games, Phill, and we're all checking the results, and you're kind of like, I'm sure he's a nice guy, but I hope he loses this morning so he can get on the plane to New Zealand and come over here. But but that kind of shows those listening that it's non-stop, right?
Mm-hmm.
You want to chase the basketball dream, like we talked about it earlier in the season, just you and I, about when you're going to go home next. How long since you went home? 10 months now?
Yeah, I left the States last week of August.
Yeah,
of last year.
Yeah, nearly 11 months.
It's 11 months?
Yeah, well, no, nearly 10 months. It'll be 10 months now. Yeah.
Sheesh. Time goes by when you're hooping.
Yeah.
It didn't even feel like I was going for that long, but yeah.
And you've been and spent a year across 2 countries, I bet. When you were growing up in Alabama, you probably never even thought about Finland and New Zealand. Like, why would you? Why would they cross your path unless you're watching Lord of the Rings? You know?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you just spent the last 10 months in both of them. That's like we say all the time, Phil, to the kids we coach, right? Basketball can take you, like, not just to the NBA, obviously, but all around the world. Give you such incredible life experiences. That's pretty cool for your first year.
Yeah, I've been blessed. I thank God every day because, a lot of people would do anything for this, kind of lifestyle. And, sometimes, like, it's easy to take it for granted. Sometimes the body feels fatigued, playing nonstop. I haven't really had an off season in like a year or 2 years, really. So it's like, sometimes the legs can get a little bit fatigued, and that can, make you feel ungrateful. But the bigger picture is, it's still a blessing. God's blessed me with this lifestyle, and I try to, be grateful for it every day. Being exposed to different cultures, Europe, New Zealand, hopefully, who knows where I'll be next season, probably Europe again. If not, I stay in the States. Being exposed to different countries, different cultures, is very interesting just to see, like, different lifestyles and like different people coming from different walks of life, and not just the civilians that I've been exposed to, but also like teammates, imports, how they've come up through basketball, and then we all meet in this one team. I think that's pretty interesting. It's a beautiful thing, really.
Well, I mentioned you were like a college basketball buff, but because I didn't really know this, Phil, because you kind of assume these imports come in from all around the world, mostly America or Australia, every now and then from somewhere else. And just kind of assume, well, there's however many thousands of basketball players in America, right? But you seem to know all of them. Like, you're like, oh, Mustafa, yeah, I played against him at college. Or, you're going through all the imports and you know where they've played, you remember them from college, you remember their stats. Like, is that just something you just naturally do, or do you follow college basketball still? Or
it's funny because there's a lot of people that hoop in the States, a lot of people. But if you really like just look at it from the outside in, it's really a small world. Like, you know somebody who has either worked out with somebody or has played with somebody or has seen somebody play.
Been coached by them or whatever. Yeah.
Like it's crazy. Like, the basketball world isn't as big as a lot of people think it is, especially once you start to get to like Division I basketball, high major basketball, which like the SEC, ACC, and then you get to the pros. It's like, especially like pretty much a lot of the hoopers in the South, they know of each other or they know each other because they've either played each other in the same college conference, they've seen them play. Social media is big, so like you're seeing it on the phone. So it's like, yeah, the basketball world is really small. And then especially like once you start to get to when I was in Finland, I saw at least 5 to 7 players that I saw in college, either played against or seen them play. So it was like, yeah, like the basketball world is really small, like once you like look at it from the outside in, But in perspective, it's still big because a lot of people want to play basketball, and a lot of people do play basketball. But once you start to get to the higher levels, you know somebody who knows somebody.
And are you enjoying it here? How I know you fit in. We talked last week with Naughty Phill about the team dynamic. Everyone seems to get on real well in this particular group of Nelson Giants. Are you enjoying it?
Yeah. I think that's one of the biggest, because being on so many different teams, like whether it's college or pro, is like one of the biggest issues that can come about. It's like personalities, like off the court stuff, locker room presence, whatever you want to call it. People can have different personalities sometimes. So like you start to see cliques, like, 2 to 3 people, they only hang out with each other. They don't talk to anybody else. These people don't only hang out. But I think this group is one of the better teams I've been on, where, I could pretty much have a conversation with anybody on the team about non-basketball things, and then still have a genuine conversation, So I think, this is one of the better teams I've been on in terms of personalities, and like we all mesh together. And I think that carries on the court too, because, sometimes people can let their egos get in the way, but, this team is pretty good with that.
Phil, have you ever been on any absolutely shocking team environments? You don't have to name teams or people, but
I have.
You're welcome to. It'd be great if you did.
I've 1 year in Italy when I was playing over there, we had a really good team, and we were sort of going into the start of the season. We still had one import spot to sign, and the coach at that stage, I'd been in the team for it might have been my 3rd year in the team.
How many imports were you allowed?
That's 4.
Oh, yeah.
There's 4
and you
imports.
were one, obviously.
No, I was a local because I had a European passport.
Nice.
So, but we had like a Argentinian, me, another European guy, and then we literally had like 2 Italian guys, and then the rest are all foreign.
Yeah.
And we had one more import spot to fill. The coach came to me, he was like, because at that stage I was the captain of the team, and he was like, well, here's 2 guys we got left. We've got one guy, he's a real role player, does a little bit of everything, but he's injured at the moment. He shouldn't be out for too long. And then we've got this other guy, and he averages like 27 and 15. He's played in 13 different countries in 13 years. And I was like, well, don't take that guy. Take the first guy.
Yeah.
Because he's going to be a perfect fit for our team, because we've got a pretty talented team. We just need a guy come in and do.
Blue guy. Yeah.
He took the other guy. So the other guy turned up. His name was Kibu Stewart.
Kibu
American Stewart.
guy?
Yeah, American guy. He was good.
Yeah.
Like without a doubt, he was very good. He was big, strong, not too dissimilar to you, Theo, but probably a little bit thicker. And he could play. But at some point in the season, we started off, we won 5 games straight. We were rolling. We just beat Milan in Cantu, like local derby, live on television, massive game. And then the next game, he just completely flipped, changed. His personality changed. He was like, and it just got worse and worse and worse. And we started losing. We lost a lot of games, and we basically got down to the end of the season, where we started off at the top. We were fighting to stay in the A1, like we were about to be relegated down to the next division. We had 4 games left. We had to win all 4, and he pulled the pin on the team. He left, didn't play. We won 4 games straight. We stayed in the in the A1. Sorry, so we stayed up. And that was just an example of, one personality. So with what Theo was saying is, it doesn't take much to change the dynamics of a team. You bring one personality in, and it can really shift the way the group acts together. It's an important part of recruiting, I think. You've got to get the right pieces. If you don't, it can cause problems.
And we talk about a lot. Mike Fitchett hasn't made many mistakes, has he? Especially import recruiting, which is the big lottery, I guess, or the biggest lottery in the New Zealand NBL.
It is, yeah. I think that also the trickiest part is the timing of the league, because it crosses over with other European competitions, finals, also Aussie NBL. So at times you see the start of the New Zealand NBL, we're short-handed, which we were, like other teams throughout the competition. But I think it's starting to pay dividends now that we've managed to wait for the right pieces to come in, and the team's starting to get a real roll on. There were some games that we dropped where we probably should have won, but that's
Franklin
all.
At home.
Yeah, but that was a 1-point game. Fire game was probably the one that we should have won. But
we'll forget about that game.
Yeah,
that game sucked.
But now the situation is that the Giants look like they're going to make the playoffs. With a strong weekend, strong showing this weekend. The destiny is in their hands. previous seasons we've left it to the last game of the season where we've always played against one of the top teams.
Same this year.
Saints.
Taranaki away.
Yeah, where we've got Taranaki, but there's an opportunity to probably get it locked in before that game.
Let's talk about that. So, top 6 go through to the playoffs. We are currently sitting 6th with an 8-9 record. The Hawks are 7th, and they're on a 6-10 record, so they've got a game in hand. So they got a tough run in, but assuming they win that, they'll make them 7-10. So it's definitely in the box seat. Like we said at the start, everything that could have gone right for us last week went right for us.
Who did they play?
Huh?
Who did the Hawks play next?
The Hawks.
I've got a real tough run in.
So they had the Saints, which they lost.
Canterbury.
And they now play the Airs at home.
Okay.
Do they have in
this round when we play the Sharks? And then the Hawks play. This is how fast I normally talk. Oh, then they play the Jets. So should win around 16, you'd think. The Hawks, and then they finish it all off with a game against the Tuatara with Tarangi, Vodanovic, Webster. They'll be back. The Tall Blacks will be back.
Yeah. And Nato will be back for
Jordy Nato will be back for the Hawks. It's advantage us if we beat the Sharks this weekend. I think we're good.
Yeah. The one consistent.
We might need a couple more results to go away, but that probably should go our way as well. But I mean, that doesn't mean anything in this league thing. People beat people. Like, look at the Sharks getting the dub at the weekend against the Phi. Are we? And I'll ask you this, Phil, to keep Theo diplomatic. But are we worried about Sunday in any way, shape, or form?
Well, it's been a while since we've won at home, so that could be a really motivating factor for the group and saying, well, we need to actually come out and show out on our floor and really just have a big presence. I think the last game we played at home against the Rams, I thought was probably one of the Giants' better games. Just a couple of possessions where we sort of lost focus and the Rams won. Remembering the Rams are won 14 straight now?
They're 14-2. They've won 13 straight. I think.
Yeah. So
win, loss, bang.
Yeah. So they're very tough group, and I'd say one of the teams that everyone will be looking at saying they'll be the favourites to win the championship. So the Giants had an excellent showing against them on the home floor, but still not a win. So I believe the Giants are going to come out and do the business this weekend. They're going to get stuck into the Sharks, and the Sharks will be ready. They got nothing to lose. They played well in the last game against the Fire, but Giants are playing at I think at a good level where they should take care of business.
So let's play it through to the end. Let's assume we're going to make the top 6. We play the Airs in the final game of the season. I think the most likely scenario is that we then play the Airs again
in Taranaki.
So back-to-back games in New Plymouth. Now that's because 6 plays 4, right? So 1 and 2 go straight through. That's looking increasingly like that'll be the Rams and the Tuatara. Now, the Airs still have a shot of making that top 2, but they are missing Sam Froling. They are missing
Mitch McCarron,
and they are missing Flynn Cameron. So they're missing 3 starters as well. Not when we play them, but for the next 2 weeks they are. So, and they're going to have a bunch of games because they've only played 15 games, and the Bulls have only played 14. So the Airs and the Bulls can still make the top 2, but the chances are we're playing the Airs. If not, it'll be the Tuatara or the Bulls. Could be the Saints. Still could be anyone. Yeah. It's tough to plan for, but I worked it all out, and I think it's most likely to be the Airs back to back. How does that make us feel? There, you played against, that's Big Sam Froling, right, for you, the big Aussie guy. What did you make of him when you played against him?
He's a good player. Unfortunately, that was one of the games where I was foul
trouble.
Yeah, foul trouble. So I really wasn't able to get a good rhythm going. But I think play him again this time around. I'll have my rhythm. It should be a more competitive game. Because they play, credit to them. They play very well on our court.
They shot the lights out.
Yeah, they shot.
Yeah,
they shot very good. But I think we'll have a different team playing them next time around. So it should be a more competitive, fun.
back-to-back games against the same opponent, Phil? What's that like?
Yeah.
Playoff atmosphere?
It is. Like it'd be interesting to see how Taranaki, sort of stump up for the games. The first game they won down here against the Giants, they're playing well. They play the Giants. If they beat them, the Giants in Taranaki, then they're probably going to come in pretty confident. For the third one, which could potentially backfire.
That first game could all depend on what the Airs need from it. They might need it to go into the top 2, for example. So they might go all guns blazing that first one.
Yeah.
And we could spoil the party and play them again and avoid the tuatara. I don't know. But
yeah. Like, I think the thing is right now is for the Giants, they just got to win every game.
Yeah.
And play every game like it's a playoff game, because that will get them into the playoffs if they look at it that way. And then once you're in the playoffs, it's must win. If you don't win, you're out. There's no home and away. It's one game, and you move on. So, which you would have experienced through college basketball, right? When you get in those tournaments, it's you win, you advance. If you lose, you're done.
A couple of things to talk about from that Jets game that we haven't talked about yet is playing without Dan Fotu, up step Samuel Kevin. Dempster, 16 points. That was the Sammy D from 3 that we know and love. 4 3-pointers, 4 for 8 from 3-point line, 6 rebounds as well. He makes a difference spacing the floor-wise, Theo, when he's on the court. But do you notice leadership-wise, does he make a difference, or just keeping everyone calm? Is that?
Yeah, there was a moment like in the game, the second half, where we came out and we turned the ball over twice, and then we came down and got a missed possession, and it was like almost no ball movement. And then I think it was a foul or something like that. It was a dead ball situation, and then he just we huddled up, and then he got on all of our heads. It's like, okay, that's it. We're finna move the ball. This is what we're finna do. I was like, all right, yeah, let's do it. And then next possession, we come in and got a score, and then that's when we started to go on a run, and like we kind of blew open the door pretty much, and then that set the tone for the rest of the second half. So I think he brings that veteran leadership, because he won't even hesitate to speak his mind, like even if he has to like ruffle some feathers, which is needed, in the game. You have to say the objective truth, sometimes. So it was like, yeah, let's do it, and that's what we needed, because we went on a run after that timeout, or after that huddle, which we pretty much huddle after every dead ball. Yeah. But he really got us together and was like, okay, let's stop messing around, and let's turn this thing up. So yeah. 60%
from the field as well, Sammy D. The commentators just loving him, which is well.
They do.
Around the league, he's just becoming super popular, which is awesome.
And it's kind of, I reckon it's off the back of, he had that one big game.
9 threes against Auckland.
Yeah, Tuatara. And
Cam Glidden spoke about it. He was commentating, right? He spoke about it,
And it's really kind of, like, obviously he's been a very good player for the Giants for a very long time, but that one particular game kind of really put him on the map in regards to his presence on the court. And I, knowing that Dan Fotu was going to be going away with the tool base, I never had any doubts that Sam was going to come in and play his role, because that's what he does. He's been a consummate role player for years for the Giants. So he's happy to do whatever it needs to take to get a win. So yeah, he just did what Sam Dempster does, really.
Dan Greeter, 22. I mean, Dan Greeter doing Dan Greeter things in that game. Big dunk.
Yeah,
that was
nice dunk.
That was a nice dunk. He dunked on Simon Lafayette, right? And I don't normally name who gets dunked on, but he dunked all over Simon Lafayette. And then the only reason I name it was because in the Rapid League, Simon, they got a dunk, or did he get a block on Caleb?
Oh yeah,
and really gave it to him.
Yeah,
I think he blocked Caleb. It really gave it to him. And then Greeter dunked all over Simon. It gave nothing to him, and I was like, "Hey, good on you, good on you, Greedy."
I think there was somebody else who got dunked on in that game, right?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that was quite a big one.
Okay, we won't name names.
That's an occupational hazard, though, when you're you're
trying to protect the room,
and there's no defensive 3 seconds, right? You're just standing there.
It comes with the territory. It is what it is.
It was a nice dunk, though. And the other 2 people I want to shout out. Well, Adam Button, first of all, first minutes in the NBL,
Mm-hmm.
Nelson College product. It's good to see. Aston Inwood.
Aston.
We've all just nodded
Little
because
sleeping giant.
we've been talking about him, right, all season. And, it's hard to get into decent minutes on this team right now because everyone's playing well. But when needs must, no damn Fotu. 25 minutes for Aston, 8 points, 7 rebounds, and just always in a great spot on the floor, eh?
He's the new glue guy.
Yeah.
Like, I think Sammy D, once he decides to hang the boots up, if Aston hangs around, he could find himself in that position quite comfortably. Good athlete, plays hard, got a real good nose for the basketball, knows where to go, gets the right spots, just does his job, and never complains about anything.
Yeah.
Just gets on with it.
It's fun to play with?
Hates flying though.
Yeah,
Does he? Does he hate flying?
He's afraid. Yeah. He's not really a big fan of heights, especially like recently. Like there's been a lot of turbulence on our flights.
Yeah.
It's not fun for anybody. But I know, like when it's going on, it's like I know Esto's shaking. I know he is. But yeah, I love his game. He's very humble. He knows, like he times his cuts perfectly. He's very good off the dribble handoffs. He's a good passer too, good rebounder.
He threw the pass to Greeter for the dunk. Yep. Backcourt cut, bounce pass. Yeah.
He's a great utility guy, great person to have on your team. Solid, great defender too. So he's like, he's somebody you want on your team because he'll do all the little work, like the dirty things that kind of go unnoticed.
What is he, like 6'3", 6'4"?
Yeah, I say about 6'4". Yeah.
6'4", and he just hides in that dunker spot. Hey,
Yeah.
He just wheels when you're off the floor and he's on. He's just in there on the tall timber, just like sneaking around in there.
Mm-hmm.
Kobe found him for a great little. It was the play that there was a 3 that was going out of bounds. Aston's the one who jumped, kept it in for the Giants, and then he snuck around in there, and Kobe found him under there for a little layup. It was good on you, Aston Inwood. And the last person I want to give a shout out to, we already mentioned Ingy and the Glacier Unicure for the rapidly glove. What is Naughty? I feel like Naughty should be in the conversation for Defensive Player of the Year because he is. If you go back to the games we've played in the last 5-6 weeks, he's keeping stars to well below their average scoring. Like from Corey Webster to the imports he plays against as well in these games. Like he just is. He's doing a great job, Phil.
He is doing a good job. Yeah, he's
it's the Naughty, the confident, pesty Naughty. Remember from the Jared West season, where he burst onto the scene defensively. I feel like he's got even better.
Yeah, and that's a strength. Probably the biggest strength of his game is his ability to lock players down on the defensive end. He loves that job. It's a shame that he's carried a couple of injuries. Obviously, his ankles haven't been great, but that thumb that's been giving him a problem because I think he'd put quite a bit of work into his offense in the off season or throughout the Breakers season and during that time and got a lot of reps up and unfortunately he just hasn't shot the ball and he's not looking to shoot it as much. He had a good bit of a breakout game in Hawke's Bay, but prior to that, with carrying that injury on his thumb, it would be nice to see him take that next step in the offensive side and just sort of he become a real complete player where teams can't sit off him. I think that's what some teams have been doing recently is they've been really not respecting Alex on the three-point line at all. And that's been making it a little bit tougher for the Giants. But I'm sure with him coming right, his thumb coming right, he'll add that into his game. But defensively, you just know what you're going to get with him. I think he is always going to be a candidate for that type of award because he just gets after it all the time.
We got a few candidates. I mean, Theo's sitting third in the league for blocks per game. Only 1 behind Whitney, and he hasn't played. 1.1 behind Whitney, but he hasn't played nearly as many games as you. And then there's Big Sam Timmons. So I just see he signed a contract in Tokyo, in Japan.
Sam has.
Big Sam, yeah.
Okay.
Good on him.
Nice.
Good man, Sam. My wife calls him the baby giraffe. Is the way he runs. But he's a good man. And then Kobe obviously has been one of most thieving players in the NBL so far, like leading the league for steals, I think, or top 2. I don't know, he's leading, right? He must
it was
be,
funny.
For Cam Glidden was right behind him. And,
Cam was doing commentary for one of the games, and he was. Every time Kobe got his hands on the ball, he was like, "That's not a steal.
Yeah, it's a deflection.
That was off somebody else. That wasn't." So
I'm quite enjoying his commentary.
Yeah, he's going good.
Yeah, he is going good. Right, a couple more things we need to talk about before we call it a day here. This thing behind me, if you're watching on YouTube, Todd, can we see that on the camera? The 1994 jersey. They are now live on Trade Me to bid for. A portion of the profits will go towards the new roof appeal at Jack Robins Stadium, which is the heart of Nelson basketball for all age groups. So a real good cause there for basketball in our region. Every jersey that was game worn has been signed by the player that wore it, and you can bid for it on Trade Me. You go to the Nelson Giants social pages, Facebook, Instagram, and the links will be there. Pay particular attention to the number 8 jersey, Theo Akwuba. And his autograph, because now Theo, as you know, you've met them. I've got a 5-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 1-year-old. Mm-hmm. I reckon all 3 of them could do a better signature than your one. You have to go. I'm not going to show it to you on the YouTube right now. You have to go to the Trade Me and have a look at Theo's signature on the number 8 jersey. Talk us through that.
Okay, so first of all, in my defense, it was like early in the morning. It was right after film. So, mind you, it was like 8:25, 8:30. So, like, you know, my mind is a little bit groggy. My hands probably not working as much. But I have 2 different signatures. I have my proper signature, which I use for stable surfaces, and then I have the generic Theo.
It literally, like, picture holding a pen in a closed fist and writing the word Theo. That's
yeah. In my defense, the jersey was very unstable, very unstable. So like there was a point where I drew like a diagonal line instead of a straight line. So I just drew the straight line right next to it. Line right next to it just to, you know, I was like, all right, whatever. But I had no warning. I did not know that this was going to be public and shown on the internet. Otherwise, I would have taken my very sweet time. So I blame Andy. Shout out Andy.
Andy the manager. Andy Stevens, one of the greats. So yeah, you can bid for those. I actually think the comical signature might pump up the worth of that jersey. I'm glad you have 2, because when I saw that, I was like, surely you're not signing like official contracts and documents with the old big Theo. That's what it looks like. Now, this jersey behind me has been signed by the whole team, and not only that, it's been signed by Phill and me as well. The 94, this one on the back says G.I.Antics. Can I get that down without ruining everything? I can. How nimble he is as a human. Look, see, that one says G.I.Antics. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see that. This we're giving away. This can be yours. All you have to do on the Giants social post about this jersey is go to the DM us on Instagram. So it'll be an Instagram only competition. You need to share the post, and then you need to DM the Giants account with the words Daryl Johnson, who was your star import in 1994.
He sure was. Yep.
The words Daryl Johnson. Now, don't comment them, because we don't want people who don't listen to the podcast to get that advantage, all right? So you're going to be listening to the podcast. The code word is Daryl Johnson. DM that to the Giants Instagram account, and you'll go into the draw to win this sweet 1994 throwback G.I.Antics jersey, which is pretty cool. And a great one for the collection. Signed by the team and by Phill and I as well. So pretty cool. And those jerseys are awesome. I want one. I'm already bidding. In fact, we put them up. Well, it takes a little bit of admin just going through putting like 15 different Trade Me things up, let me tell you. So I did that whilst getting through a few episodes of Brooklyn Nine-Nine the other night. And I put a cheeky bid on the jersey that I want. The auction closes on July the 4th, by the way. So it's no real advantage. And then Andy outbids me immediately. He didn't even know it was up. It's like he's got Andy Stevens, the Giants manager, it's like he's got just a Google alert for anything to do with the Giants on Trade Me.
So with the Trade Me sales, did you say what you searched to find the jerseys?
You just go to you can search Nelson Giants, but you can just go to the Giants Facebook or Instagram. The links are there. Links are there. So that's the way to find it. It'll take you through to the page which has got all of them on, from Kobe and Theo and Sammy D right down to Colin Williams, The Wish, Adam Barton, James Matthews, and you know the one, and this is the one I reckon, and I reckon it's young Hayden's, for two reasons. One, Jones 13 transcends both 1994 and 2024, because you wore 13 back in 1994, and obviously Hayden wore it now. It's a retired number, so it's a rare one as well. Two, who knows what Hayden Jones is going to be in 3-4 years' time. That's a jersey to potentially have, right? We had this conversation in my house recently, Theo, where Hayden could go college-wise, NIL-wise, NBA, whatever, you know? I reckon it's the one to have. Phil, you going to bet on that?
No, I've got one.
Right, before we finish with a shot clock for you, Theo, which is a little quiz at the end, we're going to talk some community basketball and NBS Whakatū focus. So, Phil, get it off you can talk about last week. Go on. Waimea College, Nelson College. What happened? We left last week's podcast pretty much going to the game. Your Waimea College against Sam Dempster's Nelson College, where I help out too. Couldn't be at the game, which is I'm probably worth 21 points to Nelson College.
Potentially.
And what was the score?
I think we won by 20.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. But I think, the NC were a little bit undermanned. They were not only missing James Matthews, but they're also missing
Big Jack.
A couple of... Jack Miller played.
Oh, Jack played, did he?
Yeah. Unfortunately, didn't play a lot because the officials decided otherwise.
He needs to go hang out with
picked
Theo.
up a few fouls.
He's foul.
But they were missing Will Daniel and Harry
Restio.
Restio.
Nice
so
player,
who are both pretty handy for that team. Obviously, we're missing Hayden, but we played really well.
Nice.
Waimea played great. NC they hung in there for a bit, but we sort of second half.
A couple of technical fouls, I hear.
There was one.
You got one. I know Big Jack got one for.
Yeah,
Nelson
Jack got
College.
one. I got one.
Did Sammy get one though?
No, Sammy didn't get one. He probably deserved a couple.
Golden child.
Yeah. Oh, good old Taylor Lynch. Whacked me with a technical foul. He loves it. And all I said to him is, you need to start playing your whistle.
So he did.
Yeah.
So he
blew it straight away and gave me a technical foul. So it's been a long anticipated hit out between Waimea and NC, and it was the game just sort of
anticlimactic.
Yeah,
well,
it was.
Part of the big anticipation has been for Hayden to go against James as well. It'll come. It's just adding to it. Fuel to the fire for those young NC boys as well, who would have gone into this year thinking we're up there with Waimea this year.
Yeah.
So it's great. We're so lucky to have that.
Yeah.
To have that rivalry at the moment, it's awesome. Club ball. That was your club game, right? That was your men's prem game last week. This week, obviously, this will be the night before the podcast comes out. The Knight Riders, the mighty, world famous Waimea Knight Riders, the world's favourite club team, taking on Waimea College. That's me playing against your boys.
It's your club team that you say is world famous.
And your club team.
Yeah. Well, it hasn't been my team for a while now since I haven't played.
You're coaching them this weekend, though, aren't you?
In between
rounds of golf.
Yeah.
So Theo, this weekend is one of the great weekends on the calendar of world sport. It's called the Tasman Cup. It's like a club basketball comp from people in Marlborough, which is Blenheim and friends, through to Nelson and down the west coast where, you didn't go to pre-season, but where the pre-season was down the west coast, Greymouth. The three most beautiful regions of New Zealand. Buller as well, Westport as well. And great people, great fun. 6 games of it's a round robin, so we've got 5 games of basketball. The Knight Riders are going down, ABC are going down, which is Ernie Kerr's team. He's obviously not going because you guys got a game, but the rest of them are. Some teams from West Coast and Marlborough, and it's going to be great. I mean, it's a social event. Well,
you make it social, yeah. But it's a good time. It's well run. And the West Coast Buller, great hosts.
Yeah.
You just get made to feel welcome, and it's a really good time.
You get to go away with your friends and play basketball for a weekend. What could be better? you know?
Sounds fun.
Without the pressure of having to win or losing your job, you know?
It's kind of like the Giants, but it's not.
Yeah. It's like the Giants, but with no pressure. So that's happening this weekend. So shout out to West Coast basketball. I know we have quite a few listeners down the West Coast as well. So looking forward to catching up with all of you this weekend and having just a ruddy, bloody...
Cam Birchfield.
Dangerously good
in
time.
particular.
Cam, Corbin, you know, Smacker. Oh, just some of the great people down there. Can't wait to catch up with you all. Okay, shot clock. Phil, explain to Theo what shot clock is while I get the timer ready.
Okay, Theo, a lot of pressure here. You got 24 seconds to name as many things that are aligned with the category that Hugh's going to give you.
Okay.
All right, so don't think about the 24 seconds because that will just ruin you.
That's what Naughty did.
Yeah, just keep firing things out as fast as you can.
Okay, you got 24 seconds to name as many of the 2024 Team USA Olympic roster. Go.
LeBron, Curry, KD, Anthony Davis, Damian Lillard, Drew Holiday. I want to say Halliburton. I'm not sure. Kawhi, Jason Tatum.
Time up. 7. Not bad. No Lillard, no Holiday.
No Lillard, no Holiday?
No.
No Lillard?
Oh, no, sorry. Holiday is there.
Holiday's there?
No Lillard. So you got 8.
8.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That might be the second best we've had since Fitch first one. And Fitch is the super nerd. So you've done well.
No Dame?
Bam Adebayo.
Bam. Yup, that's right.
Devin Booker.
Mm-hmm.
Steph Curry. Anthony Davis. Kevin Durant. Anthony Edwards.
Mm-hmm.
Joel Embiid.
Yeah.
Tyrese Halliburton, you got. Nice one. Former Sacramento King. Drew Holiday. LeBron James. Kawhi Leonard. Jason Tatum.
Okay.
Not a bad team.
That's a pretty good team, eh?
I'm surprised they put Halliburton over Lillard. Oh, well, yeah, that's none of my business. But
Yeah, let's not get into the politics.
Yeah.
Steve Kerr, no. Theo, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thanks for coming us in. It's good to learn a little bit more about you. Get the job done against Big Cal and the Sharks.
Yep. Should be a fun game this Sunday. I think our main focus is, keeping this momentum we have. Hopefully we can win out the rest of the regular season. Like, that's pretty much our goal. Just to keep winning, going a great win streak, going into the playoffs, and then that momentum will just keep us going.
Otago Nuggets 2022 came 6th, remember?
Mm-hmm. And they won. Won the whole comp.
Beat us in the semi.
Beat the Giants in the semi.
Because they get that extra game. 1 and 2 get a break. So 6 plays 4. And then if you win that, you're rolling. You got the big mo. You got momentum and you got confidence. And then you play a team that's had a week off. And... there's can be a little bit of panic there, and then boom, into you go.
Yep.
I want to see. I've got one request from you. I want to see you get angry in the game and just put someone in the rim, just once.
The player, though, not the ref. Don't do it.
A player. Yeah. Not at the ref. Yeah.
Just punches the ref, looks at you like, you happy, Phil?
Thumbs up.
6:30 rapidly, 5:30 rapidly tip off, 6:30 NBL tip off. Now I think we can clinch the rapidly with a win at 5:30. So get there to see the Glacier and friends and Tom Ingham and no James Matthews obviously, but Nick Davidson, all these guys who've been playing. Caleb Chamberlain, awesome rapidly. Get down there because I think we can clinch rapidly with a win over the Sharks, and then we can go either all the way or a big step of the way to clinching a spot in the playoffs with a win in the NBL game as well. So get down to the Trafalgar Centre. If you can't make it there, tune in on Sky Sport, listen to me and Phil. Having a great time. And we'll see you at the TC on Sunday.